31, you're given that angle AGN is 50. Remember, that would represent a inscribed angle because G is on the circle. That means it's half of its intercepted arc. The arc is JH, and so this would be 100. You're given that NG is equal to NH. And what that means, and this is a little bit subtle, we definitely had this theorem, but that means that N is the midpoint of GH. And since A is the center of the circle, then that means that this diameter CL is hitting GN at the midpoint, which means it's also the right angle. And so we know that these are right angles. That was probably the hardest part to remember on this problem, which means also that we know that that's 40 and this is 40 and these arcs are 40. And then we know that CEF is going to be 120, and so this angle is 120. Well, we want to find out what JMH is. So JMH is this angle. Well, when you have a point that's inside the circle, but is outside but not the center, then the way you find the angle is you take 1/2 times the sum of the intercepted arcs, or the average of the intercepted arcs. Well, one of the intercepted arcs is 100, and so we're going to do 1/2 times 100. The other one, this is 40, this is 40 because we figured those out. This is going to be 40 because it's going to be the same as this one because NG and NH are the same. So that means that this intercepted arc, GC, is 140. If you do all those, 360 minus 40 minus 100 minus 40 minus 40, you get 140 left over. And so when you take 1/2 times that, you get 120. And so that's JMH. We need CF. CF is this arc. Well, that one is found because if we draw in this radius, they're tangent lines. And so we look at these, since these are tangent, these are right angles. Since those are right angles, we know 90 plus 90 plus 120 is 300. And then the kite, FACE, face, this kite, the 4 angles have to add up to 360. Well, 3 of them add up to 300. So that means this one is 60, which means the arc FC is also 60. And then finally, you want to find out what FDG is. Well, you do the same concept you did here in that we have right angles and right angles, but we knew that this angle is 140 because the arc was 140. That's what we did here. That's where that 140 came from. The arc of GC is 140. So that means this angle is 80, which means this angle has to be 360 minus 90 minus 90 minus 80, which is 100. And so it turns out that angle FDG is 100 because you can use that quadrilateral. You can also recognize that in this kite, this kite that's created by 2 radius and then 2 tangents, these 2 angles are always supplementary. So since that one was 80, then it had to be 100 to make it supplementary.